स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्तराधाकान्तनमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Krishna. So today we are studying from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, shloka number 11. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avastitaha Bhishmameva virakshanto bhavantas sarva eva hi. So, I'll just read the word to word and translation report for myself. Ayaneshu in the strategic positions, cha also, sarveshu everywhere, yatha bhagam as differently arranged, avastitaha situated, Bhishmam unto grandfather Bhishma, eva certainly, Abhirakshanto should give support, Bhavantaha you, survey, all respectively, eva hi certainly. All of you must now give full support to grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. Okay. So today we will study as we read the portions of purport and this one. So we see, okay, the first portion of the purport. Duryodhana, after praising the prowess of Bhishma, further considered that others might think that they had been considered less important. So in his usual diplomatic way, he tried to adjust the situation in the above words. So here we see there is a lot of diplomacy that is happening in the part of Duryodhana, and it is quite expected that people like Kshatriyas, like statesmen, so they may have to use diplomacy. All the time it is not going to be a straightforward thing. But then if that becomes their real nature, so then it is a problem. No? So like in reality or in normal situations, a person has to be trustworthy, truthful, honest and things like that. So, and a statesman as an exception can use diplomacy whenever whenever things are not going the right way. Right? So, but here we see that Duryodhana have to use diplomacy very extensively. Why? Because, so one of the things if you see in the Pandavas army, everything was in sync. Like at the top, Yudhishthira Maharaj is there and whatever he desires, so all of them, all the army was gathered by Pandu, like by this one Yudhishthira Maharaj, was in like favor, because they were attracted to this virtue, so they really wanted to support him. For that sake actually, they all came together. But in the case of Duryodhana's army, what is the case? Like where all of them in one sync? So Duryodhana, what is his goal? His goal is that somehow or other Pandavas should not enjoy. This one, he once made a statement that you see, like, I'll remain the king and I will enjoy all the opulence of this kingdom till I die. Right? So if I win, I'll continue to be the king, and if I lose the battle, so Pandavas will rule only a like burial ground. All the great people like Bhishma, Drona, everybody would have already been killed. All like opulence of the whole this one would be crushed. So then after that, when everything is dead and gone and like all relatives are lost and everything, so then in that, like burial ground, so these Pandavas will rule. So anyways, I will not give them any enjoyment. They cannot enjoy. So his whole goal was, somehow or other Pandavas should not enjoy. That was his goal. What is the goal of Karna? Karna's goal is defeat Arjuna. Even like at the point, like this one, when he was told that he is also son of Kunti, and then still he maintained that this one, one of them I'll kill, and that is Arjuna. Either I will live or Arjuna will live. So that was very, very clear. So for him, a different goal. And Shalya, he wanted to take part in the battle with Pandavas, but then when he came, for the battle, for joining the whole army, so that time on the way, like Duryodhana gives some very nice reception. Shalya is also one of the father-in-laws, I think. So he gave his daughter to. He's the king of Madras actually. So and one of the Pandavas married the daughter of Shalya. I don't remember exactly. So like on the way, Duryodhana arranged for a very nice reception of Shalya. He took care of him so nicely. The whole army was so happy. And Shalya came and told, he thought like this Maharaj has arranged. So whoever has arranged such nice this one, I'll fight for him. Like I'll give myself fully, for this one. So then Duryodhana comes in front, it's me who has arranged. You should fight for me. And Shalya was not, he is not at all interested in fighting for Duryodhana, but then he's bound by his words. And then, like, at one point in time, like, I think Yudhishthir goes or Krishna goes, I don't remember. So then, when he went to meet Shalya, so like, he told like what to do, like, I gave a word and it became like this. So, okay, still you can help us. When this one, Shalya will become the chariot driver of Karna, so at that time, he will keep on disturbing him by scolding him and things like that, constantly like pulling his legs. So in this way you distract him like that. So it is like, see, the whole army is gathered like this. And then Drona and Bhishma, so they have so much of affection for Pandavas, so but then they have to fight in the opposite side. So they are duty bound, definitely they will fight, but how much they will actually give their valor into, how much they will actually put their heart into the whole battle. So there is some weak point. They are not fully convinced about what they are doing, and they are supposed to do just because of duty. And then this one between Karna and Bhishma. So both of them, Bhishma constantly used to criticize Karna, and then because of that, like always he used to say like this guy, he has never won a battle, with the Pandavas. Always he has shown his back and ran away. And this guy is telling on his strength you are thinking that you will be able to win and things like that. So, and in fact, some place like he actually mentioned that like all this, you give up all this Bhishma, Drona and all these people, so they keep on telling bad about us. So they are not, like syncing with your idea, Duryodhana. So you give them up, like we will only manage the battle. So like that. And then he took a vow that till the time Bhishma is there in the field, he will not enter into the field. So there is so much of dissension, there is so much of discord amongst the whole team. It was not a very team that is having one single focus and one single goal and things like that. So obviously, like here in this 11th shloka, we can see that Duryodhana is applying a lot of diplomacy because he has to please all these people. He needs everybody's support, and then one person is praised, the other person will become dejected. So he has to keep everybody happy. So for that he has to do a lot of balancing. So Duryodhana was doing all these things. So then we see that further purport we'll read. He emphasized that Bhishma Dev was undoubtedly the greatest hero, but he was an old man, so everyone must especially think of his protection from all sides. He might become engaged in the fight, and the enemy might take advantage of his full engagement on one side. Therefore, it was important that other heroes not leave their strategic positions and allow the enemy to break the phalanx. So here, we see that the diplomacy actually continues, that he is telling that all of you are very important, and generally this is a very important, we can actually understand a lot of management techniques from Duryodhana. So he's a very expert manager actually. So he knows how to actually appease everybody, how to make them feel like you are very important. Without you, no, I cannot do things. So he's like very, very expert in management. So it's not like he's one side, he's arrogant, and at the same time, he knows where to apply humility, in a diplomatic way. He's telling like all of you are very important. You don't leave your strategic positions, and then you fight from your strategic positions. So this thing that is like phalanx is something, a formation of the army. So every day they used to make different formations of the army. So what is this formation of the army? Like there is in the head, the key warriors will be actually fighting. And then the army is made in such a way that they penetrate into into the other army, and they hit. And there is a protection that is given. It is not that every day everyone is fighting. So some person is assigned as the main fighter, and some others are assigned as the support, and some are assigned just to guard the whole arrangement. The whole army has to be guarded. So if the main fighter loses, so then another person is put over there as the head, and then he actually moves forward. So like in this way, the whole army, some people, the people who are guarding, so they will not be able to get engaged in full fight. It becomes difficult. So in this way, the whole arrangement is made, and everybody's strategic position is very important. If there is any leakage into the strategic position, like if the enemy manages to break the phalanx and go inside, he can create a big massacre over there. It becomes like very difficult to manage. So this is one of this one. So like that is why he's mentioning that Bhishma is our key fighter, so he will fight for us. But then if if the enemy takes advantage of his focus on one point, and if he breaks into, so then it will become a problem. So then like the whole this one will become chaotic. So all of your strategic, this one is very important. Strategic position is very important. And in fact, last time we had discussed about this concept of duty and result. So one has to perform his duty and not be attached to the result. So these two things are very important aspect in any activity that we do. So one is our role, and another is the result. These two things are there. And if you see, it's not there in first chapter. From second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, in every single chapter you will find Krishna telling that don't be attached to the fruits of your activity. If you get attached to the fruits of activity, you will get sin. If you get attached to the fruits of activity, it is so abominable, so cheap. Don't do that. Give up the attachment to the fruits, or give up the attachment to the results, and work for your duty. That will help you. And then being attached to this one results, it will actually push you into mode of passion. You will become always disturbed and always irritated, and so much of pain that you have to go through. And like there's so many different angles. Krishna actually mentions that give up the attachment to the results. It is not a very good thing. It is not a very dignified thing, and it also causes so much of problems. So do your activities just because it is your duty to perform, it is your role to perform, and don't become attached to what results going to come. And I have to produce better results than other people. How can I show myself that I am the best performer? So all this kind of this one has to be given up. Right? So that is the first aspect. So in fact, in the Bhagavad Gita we will see that as the this one subject matter progresses, different yoga systems will be taught. And what is the marker? What is the progression marker in each of the yoga system? Two very important things that are there in all the yoga systems. That is the jnana and vairagya. Jnana means progressive understanding of the absolute truth. Progressive understanding of the Lord. And vairagya means detachment from the worldly things. These are the two very, very key subjects that is there, and key parameters that is there in every yoga system. All the yoga systems are gauged based on this. Right? So Karma Yoga, what is the level of jnana that he can attain to? He can become eligible to practice Jnana Yoga, or he can become eligible to contemplate on Brahman aspect of the absolute truth. And then this one in Jnana Yoga, we see that the component of knowledge is he can achieve Brahman. In Dhyana Yoga, the component of knowledge is he can achieve Paramatma. And in Bhakti Yoga, the component of knowledge is he can achieve the Supreme Absolute, Supreme Person, Bhagavan, feature of the Lord. So now, this is the Jnana part. Jnana means progressive realization of the Supreme Lord. And Vairagya means detachment from the worldly things. So in Karma Yoga, we see that there is detachment from the fruits. No, Sakama Karma Yoga, we are attached to the fruits. So if we perform that nicely, then we go to Nishkama Karma Yoga. So we get detached from the fruits, but still attached to the fruitive activities, the Karma Kanda activities. And then when we go to the Jnana Yoga, we give up the attachment to the fruitive activities, and then we proceed towards the austerities and things like that. So this is a clear milestones that are there, in the progression of any of the yoga ladder. So first is giving up attachment to the fruits. That's the rock bottom thing. So if you have to be eligible to perform any yoga system, like Sakama Karma, the people don't think that it is a very good yoga system. Some kind of dignity comes when the person enters into Nishkama Karma Yoga, without attachment to the fruits of fruits of our activity. So in the path of transcendentalism, in the path of progression in the yoga system, so bare minimum is giving up attachment to the fruits of one's activity. So that's a very, very bare minimum thing, right? So and doing this, so then we see that the strategic position that is explained here, so that's a very important principle. So in one lecture I was hearing that if there is a nice necklace that is there, there's nice gems that are there, big gems are there in the between, and then nice decorative, arrangement of gems are there. So now, if these gems, they fight amongst themselves, saying that why this big gem is there in the center, why this is there in the side, why cannot I be there in the center, if it happens like that, the necklace will not look very nice actually. So everybody stands in their own respective position, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, whatever it is, they understand their position and they discharge the duties of their position. So then the whole thing will become very nice. Here we see in the army, so maybe people are very phalanx, they have to just guard, so they have to do the role. So otherwise, what happens? It becomes chaotic. Why that guy has to fight? I will also fight. So then it will become a chaos. So somebody fights and somebody supports. Like that. So that is there. In the same way, in the real life also, we see that Brahmanas are there, they are visionaries, and Kshatriyas are there, they are administrators, and Vaishyas, they make the economy running, and the Shudras, they support. So now if the Shudra thinks why only Brahmana has to guide? First of all, he is a Shudra because he cannot control his senses. If he would have controlled his senses, he would have become Brahmana or some higher class. But being in that position, he starts comparing with another higher person. So then it only creates chaos. So rather than comparison, we should just understand what is our role and we should just discharge our particular role. Okay, this is what is my role, I will discharge this particular role. Right? So no role is higher or lower. Being a sweeper or being a king, in Krishna's eyes, all these roles are equally, equal in themselves, right? So Krishna is only looking for devotion. With devotion, for practical purpose of living in this world, we have to do a certain duty, and we have to do that duty, very nicely, not comparing ourselves with other people. So this attitude of comparison is the biggest problem in Kali Yuga. So in the previous ages, everybody knew what is their role, and they would just simply do their role, and they would not unnecessarily compare or unnecessarily pull somebody down and things like that. But in Kali Yuga, if somebody is given a lower role, why I have to do this role? Why not I do this bigger role? So that comparison actually creates a lot of problem. And then that is why in Kali Yuga there is so much of concept of equality comes. So why this person has to be called Shudra? Everybody is equal. Everybody should be treated equally. So that is not the case of the this one Vedic system. So Vedic system recognizes different capacities, different roles and responsibilities, and everybody must discharge their roles and responsibilities properly. So that is when the system will actually sustain. So then we'll still read further purport. Duryodhana cleverly felt that the victory of the Kurus dependent on the presence of Bhishmadev. He was confident of the full support of Bhishmadev and Dronacharya in the battle because he knew well that they did not even speak a word when Arjuna's wife Draupadi, in her helpless condition, had appealed to them for justice while she was being forced to appear naked in the presence of all the great generals in the assembly. And so this one important thing, we see that Duryodhana his victory primarily depends on Bhishmadev and Dronacharya. No? Why? Because these are two very powerful warriors and who is a class apart even for the Pandavas. No? Even for Pandavas and Arjuna. So if Bhishmadev shows his full valor, no, he cannot stand in front of Bhishma. So that is his capacity. No, Bhishmadev is really very powerful. And if you see his origin, his origin also quite divine. He was one of the Vasus, 8 Vasus, and he was right in the childhood. He was taken by Mother Ganga, his own mother, and then she took him to the higher realms, and he was trained in all different martial arts and everything. He was very nicely trained, and later on he could actually stand in battle with Parashuram for many days together, and the battle had to end in time. So he was quite a very powerful personality, and it is not so easy for anybody to win over him, and even with the Pandavas it is quite difficult. Even Dronacharya for that matter, it is quite difficult to win over him. In fact, this side, in the Pandava side, the Arjuna and Bhima, these two were really creating chaos in the Kaurava's army. And on the Kaurava side, so Bhishma, Drona and Karna. So these three people were really creating massive havoc in the Pandavas army. Right? So this is but then sometimes they would feel little affection to the Pandavas. So they would not fight with full valor. But then Duryodhana know that these two people are very, very important. That's why he goes, in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, we'll see Bhavan, Bhishmascha, Karnascha. So he starts with this one, he goes to Dronacharya, and then Bhishma and Drona are very, very key personalities for Duryodhana's victory. So he knew that it was very, very important for him to keep these two people in good spirits and winning their heart and keeping them in good books and things like that, or keeping himself in their good books. So he was very, very cautious about this particular activity. That's why he was doing that. And then one of the things that gave Duryodhana a kind of encouragement is that Bhishma and Drona did not speak anything when Draupadi was insulted. So that was a big this one for him. See, how does people like this, people who are quite sinful or quite in the path of adharma, how the mind, the works, is if somebody even in remote ways, in remote ways also, if they find somewhere they have some special quality, so they will always try to highlight that special quality. Even otherwise they failed, it is not a problem. Somewhere something good they did, they will always remember that. I did this good. And they'll keep on telling that. This I did, and things like that. And then in the weak side, we see that if there is a weakness of the other person, so they're always thinking that, okay, Bhishma and Drona, so they kept quiet on that time, so now there is hope. We can expect that particular thing. So, but the dharmic person, what he will think, he will see that in his personal self, even if sometimes some bad has come in his thought, he will always think that I am so bad, I have got this wrong thought. How can I remove this wrong thought? So even all the time they are good, but still they will not consider that thing. They will think that even one small bad thing if they have committed, so they will always think that, okay, I have some bad side also. I am not all that great. So they will always actually put themselves in a humble position actually. So, and we see that in such kind of situation, if the righteous people or if the other set of people are there, they will see that they tolerate it, but then naturally they have affection for Pandavas. So that is something more important than this one. And one example I would like to quote in Ramayana, what happens when Lord Ram actually comes back after the exile in the forest. So he was sending Hanuman in front to check if Bharata has developed any attachment to ruling the kingdom. No. So if he has developed any attachment, then I'll give the kingdom to him only. No. So that is righteousness. No. Here we see Duryodhana will he do like this? No. Okay. This one. What is that? Drona and Bhishma, they are attached to Pandavas. Let them fight on the side of Pandavas. No, he will never think like that. But you see the character of Lord Rama. So he's seeing that if Bharata has developed some attachment to the kingdom, let him have. Again, I'll go to the forest. No, so it's like a very amazing character actually. And we see that why sinful people or why people of this caliber they don't adopt this quality because they think that I need the kingdom. And if I, as I said, kingdom को दे दिया तो no, फिर मेरा पास क्या रहेगा? No, nothing will be there with me. Everybody will loot from me. So, but the problem is, a person who gives, he gets the most. A person who tries to snatch, he is always poor only. No. So there's one joke is there. One time, one person actually prayed that I should have in next life, I should have such a life that everybody should keep on giving me. So much everybody should keep on giving me. And then the other person, he actually prayed that, I should keep giving to other people. So in my next life, I should get such a life that I should keep giving to other people. The first person became a beggar. Every time people kept giving to him. And the second person, he became a rich man. So anybody who came, he was able to give profuse donation to them. Right? So he was able to give so many things to them. So it's actually a very important principle. So the people who follow dharma, they know that more we give, more we get. So because more you give, more punya comes, and more punya comes, more things you will get. And more you snatch, less you get. You keep snatching from people, you will become sinful, and sinful means you will not get anything. So that is this one concept. So, but this concept is very subtle. It materially, externally, it works the opposite way. So we see that people who are very greedy, they are always, they're always like Daridra only, they don't have anything proper with them. And people who are always charitable, let me give things to people. So they may go into a phase of poverty, but then ultimately they'll come out with a lot of glory actually. So we see that Duryodhana is trying to see every opportunity, okay, this person had shown some interest in me, they kept quiet during the insult of Draupadi, so that means this time also they'll support me, So he's just seeing exactly opposite of the Rama's attitude we can see here. And then, so although he knew that the two generals had some sort of affection for the Pandavas, he hoped that these generals would now completely give it up, as they had done during the gambling performance. So, so in this way he had this idea. So it is 7:23. So I pause here the session. Any questions or comments you can take? Yes, please.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the amazing class. So, Prabhuji, you talked about the yoga ladder, how one progresses from Karma Yoga to Jnana Yoga, and ultimately Bhakti Yoga is the position where somebody can realize Supreme Person. So, if that is the ultimate thing, and in Kali Yuga especially, it's difficult for people to practice, especially the Jnana Yoga and the Dhyana Yoga. So, why is other yoga even mentioned in Bhagavad Gita?
See, the problem is when we perform bhakti, we need to also know what is not bhakti. So that is why wherever there is definition of bhakti comes, so it immediately follows with this thing, jnana karma dhyanamritam. And Krishna also, Prabhupada also, whenever he defines bhakti yoga, so pure devotional service, freed from the conceptions of karma, jnana and yoga, right? So, and then we see the definitions like bhukti, mukti, siddhi, kami, sakaliya shanta, Krishna bhakta nishkama, ateyava shanta. So wherever there is bhakti that is mentioned, immediately, not this, not this, not this. No? So these three things are always mentioned. Because if you see the whole scheme of superset of all the activities that you can possibly perform, So one is the adharmic activity, which is against the scriptures. And if you accept the scriptures, then within the scriptures, scriptural viewpoint, they are theistic viewpoint. So atheistic means against the scriptures, theistic means within the scriptural viewpoint. In the scriptural viewpoint, you have karma yoga, wherein the goal is you can get legalized sense gratification. You perform and legalized sense gratification, and doing that, you will also progress in jnana. You will also progress in the component of jnana. So component of jnana means it has to become like what is that? Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Progressively realizing this absolute truth is the component of jnana. In Sakama Karma Yoga, there is no Brahman, no Paramatma, no Bhagavan. Nothing you'll be able to achieve. So Sakama Karma Yoga is there only for to come into the level of Nishkama Karma Yoga. So you develop detachment from the fruits of your activities. That itself is a big achievement. So then after that you develop detachment from the worldly activities at all. So then you become eligible to enter into Jnana Yoga. So and perfecting Jnana Yoga you can actually realize Brahman. So and then perfecting Jnana Yoga you can realize Paramatma, and perfecting Bhakti Yoga you can realize Bhagavan. Right? So this Bhagavan feature of the Lord. So this is the progressive aspect of the component of Jnana. And for everything, for any of the yoga systems, detachment from this world is a very, very essential thing. Without that, it cannot happen. So in Bhakti Yoga, the prime focus is given on directly you engage in the subject of Jnana. So that is directly you worship Krishna, engage the senses in the service of Krishna, and then this Vairagya comes as a result, as a byproduct. So, but in other yoga systems, Vairagya is a prominent thing. First you control your senses, then we talk about, advancing in jnana. Right? So it's taught in that way. Right? So Bhakti Yoga is a little reverse in that sense. First you get attached to Krishna and you practice chanting and things like that. So if a drunkard comes, we will not say first you give up drinking, then you chant. We say pehle mala pakad, uske baad dekhenge. So then after he chants for a few days, then we say see, this is all wrong, you should give it up. Why we will not tell before? Because he doesn't have sufficient strength to give up. So when he chants, so then he gets some little bit of punya, devotional sukriti, so then he has the strength to give up the bad things. So like that. So I forgot the question, what was it?
Suppose my question was why this mention of other yoga systems?
Other yoga systems, because we should not do the other yoga systems. So in the process of bhakti, if we become attached to results of our activity, so then our bhakti is contaminated by karma. So in the process of executing bhakti, we become attached to liberation. Our bhakti is contaminated by jnana. So in the process of executing bhakti, if we become attached to siddhis, so then our bhakti is becomes contaminated by yoga. So that Mishrit bhakti will not give us the full this one. That is why this shloka Rupa Goswami says, bhukti mukti spriha yavat pishachi hridi vartate tavat bhakti sukha syatam katham abhyudayo bhavet. So this bhukti and mukti, desire for sense gratification and desire for liberation, these two are like witches. They actually haunt a person. They will not allow the person to taste the pure bliss of Krishna consciousness. Right? So what not to be performed also had to be taught. Otherwise we will be thinking I am doing bhakti, but actually we are doing something else. So we should know what is not also, what is not bhakti. So that is why the 6 chapters for devotees is very essential. And even in the process of progressing towards bhakti, so performing nishkama karma is to some extent is purifying, because it is a mode of goodness. It actually takes a person to the mode of goodness. The moment we give up the attachment to the result, immediately we are released from the mode of passion. So more, it's a live wire, current wire is there, and you catch that, you get shocked. In the same way, results of our action, if we just even glance at the results of our action, immediately we'll come to the mode of passion, and so much of distress, so much of anxiety, so much of fights and misunderstandings and this and that, and all those complexities, you'll get into that realm. And the moment you become freed from this one, you will just say it's my duty, I do. Result, jo hoga bhagwan ka ichha. So let it be there. I'll just do my duty. If we have that kind of an attitude, So then we will do the quality of work also will increase, and at the same time we will become, free from all the anxieties and things like that. That's a very essential thing. So that is why the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, like what is the contamination that is there that we need to understand. So Jnana Karma, Jnana Vritam means what is this Jnana Karma we need to know. That is when we will be able to avoid them. Yes, sir. Hmm.
So Guruji, this detachment from results Guruji, is very very difficult. So in that regards,
See, if you see how do we actually get detached is by way of advancing in the knowledge, So by the way of advancing in the perception of the Lord, and by the mercy of the Lord, we will be able to understand the Lord Himself, and a byproduct of that is the vairagya. Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojika Janayati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Cha Yada Haitukam. So it is not that I have to forcibly give up attachment to the results. So when I perform bhakti properly, so this is the first result that comes. This is the first result that comes, we become detached from the fruits. And consciously also we try to see that, okay, this is something which is going to put me into so much of anxiety and distress and so much of chaotic situation. So theoretically also, logically also we convince ourselves, and then practically, when we become advanced in bhakti, little bit, not very much, when we make a little advancement in bhakti, we get detachment from the results of our work.
suppose the reason why I was asking is sometimes when we don't think so much about results, if we are not so much goal oriented, then we tend to go in mode of ignorance.
No, the goal is that perfection of our duty.
Okay.
So goal is, so two things are there. So duty is there and result is there. So now in Kali Yuga, like people have fixed result as the goal. So we have to shift that duty as the goal. How will I do quality of work? How will I increase the quality of work? So while increasing the quality of work, like I'm not worried about what will be the result. Whether people will praise, acknowledge, how much like I'll be rewarded for this and things like that. No, I'm working for a cause, and that cause should be the main thing, rather than the monetary benefit or the benefit in terms of appreciation and reward and stuff like that. So the goal is that, how the quality of work can be done nicely. So that should be the goal. So the goal has to be shifted. The goal is still there. So we have ultimate goal of attaining the lotus feet of Lord, and there is so much work to be done. And when we wrongly attach ourselves to the results of our activities as the goal, so then this important traversal, that's towards the advancement in attaining the lotus feet of the Lord, that journey becomes stopped. So we'll be pursuing some wrong goal. Keeping the right goal. So that is why every day morning we chant, saying that we avoid all these offenses and chant the holy names for the purpose of attaining the goal, that is Krishna Prema. Right? So we are heavily goal oriented. Every day we recite our goal. Like this is what I want, this is what I want. Right? They are heavily goal oriented. But then the goal is not on the results, but it is on the side of the duties. Duties, it's in the material plane, duties and results on the material plane. So here the goal is on terms of realization of the absolute truth. Like that. Yes, sir.
How to find myself is attached. Attached to real bhakti. Attached or not? How to find myself?
Attached to material things or
Not material things.
Attached to bhakti. See, the sign of attachment in bhakti is that the first level of sign of attachment in bhakti is that we will be able to hear the names of the Lord clearly. Right? And then we will start liking the process of bhakti very nicely. So that is, the process of getting up early in the morning and attending the Mangalarti and things like that. This becomes very, natural and blissful. And if somebody asks, like, why are you doing this? So your answer should be like, when you are naturally able to answer that I'm just doing this because I like it. That means you are attached to bhakti. Yeah, I like why you are chanting because I like it. It's so nice. And why you are studying Bhagavatam because so nice it is. So when we are able to come to that stage, I like this thing, I like to do this particular thing, so then we can understand this attachment to bhakti. So the key things, the Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Sparanam. So stability in these aspects will grow. So then we are really attached to Bhakti. So if our mind is wandering so much when we are performing Bhakti, then that means we are not still attached to Bhakti. Right? Like somebody is told that, you come to this address, I'll give you some 20 kgs gold, and he will just go, any distraction comes, anybody phone call comes, anybody calls him, he will not wait for anything, he'll just simply go, no distraction, right? So that means he's attached to the gold. Yeah. So in the same way, if you are attached to Bhakti, when we are chanting, so we will not get any distraction. And how much less distraction comes, that much we are attached to Bhakti. More distraction, we are less attracted to Bhakti.
Don't we think Shalya is a fool, like standing in the word
Shalya?
Yeah, don't we think he is a fool, like?
No, see, it's all about.
Is it right or wrong, actually?
See, what happens is, like these transactions, what is happening, like in Kali Yuga, nobody gives value for their own words. They tell something and they'll do something. And then, for them, the concept of dharma only is not there. So for us to understand this whole principle, what is happening on the platform of dharma, it becomes difficult for us to understand. If somebody, is very grateful, is very like a nice-hearted person, if somebody does something to them, so they will immediately become happy, and they will say like, I want to offer something in return to that person, So he became happy by the guest reception that was given, and he had at least this one idea that this is a relative of Pandavas. Why will he fight for me? Like, why should I waste time with him? That's the general thought that will be there. Nobody would have imagined in the dream that Duryodhana would come and arrange some nice reception for Shalya.
Without understanding this habit, I think many scenarios is false.
See, this what happens is we try to see that, okay, if I would have not done this, I would have got a better situation. So that is our materialistic thought. So these people, what they do, they naturally do things based on dharma, and if something goes wrong, they understand, okay, this is the will of the Lord. The Lord wanted it like this, that is why it has happened.
But actually, Adama people, they will use this one. How that will
even if Adharma people use, they cannot use more than what Krishna sanctions. Even if Duryodhana wants to use this weakness, so Duryodhana had made so many tricks. If all the tricks of Duryodhana would have worked, then Pandavas would have not become victorious. Yeah. So even if they want to take this one, like twist and turn, so to some extent, like see, Krishna is a very nice person. Even if you are a villain, Krishna will give some success to you. He will not say you are a villain, you will have to always be defeated. He will give some success to you, saying that tum bhi dushra. So like that, for Duryodhana, Krishna made that, he gave so many indications that, okay, fine, like, I can also be victorious. There's so much, like, this one he got, in the whole, this one.
Like, in that case, if we use our brain, okay, based on case, without everything giving to God, okay, we can take right decisions, we can filter right.
So that's the case of Duryodhana. He did not depend on God. He took all decisions, because if we depend on God, see, like Pandavas, they left the Krishna's army and they chosen Krishna. They are foolish people, like, they don't know what is important.
Who are standing on dharma.
Yeah, so the thing is, when we depend on our own brain, that's a classic case of Duryodhana. He thought that if I depend on God, it will all be gone, so I have to use my intelligence. I have to, properly choose what is right, what is wrong. So that is why he was very intelligent. You see, like, he was like, he took Shalya on his side. And depending on God means dharmic, and not depending on God means demonic. So if we think, if the thought at all comes, like, giving up everything in hands of God, then it is going to be a problem. So then we are perfectly demoniac. So a godly person, what he will think, whatever comes, I will act dharmically, And beyond my capacity, whatever happens, it is by the will of the Lord. No, definitely He is in control. Nothing is going outside of His control. So He has complete control and perfect control of everything that is happening. Not even a blade of grass moves without His sanction. So if He, like sanctions something bad, that means it has its will. It has the will of the Lord. If coronavirus came, it is not because God was sleeping and coronavirus came. It is completely according to the plan of the Lord. And when it has to go, it has to go. It's also completely according to the plan of the Lord. Right? And that. So that is why dharmic people, how many things you can control? How many places you can apply your intelligence? What all ways problems can come? How much you can know? So it is difficult. So that is why at one point in time we come to a position that my intelligence of no use. I have to surrender to Krishna and I have to follow His path. So that is a point of pure devotional service. So more a person does that, he becomes more advanced in bhakti. And more a person depends only on his intelligence, he becomes demoniac. Actually. So generally people are in between somewhere. Little bit they depend on God, and little bit they think that this aspect we should not depend on God. He will spoil. I have to use my intelligence. So that is why everybody are little bit demoniac and little bit godly.
Like if we go to like 1,000 or 1,500 our history, lot of distractions happen. This is also we can consider with
Will of God. Will of God.
But lot of I think how they are distracted, how emotionally or money is okay, they speaking it, but where of the attempting people in these things. I very have
Destroying the dharma, destroying temples and things like that. Yeah, definitely it's a demoniac act, but it has its sanction from the Lord. Without Lord sanctioning, how it will happen? So that is why Krishna says this is not a place of gentlemen. This is not a place for gentlemen to live. So living entities wanted to do something wrong. That cannot happen in Vaikuntha. So Krishna sends those people here. You go to this world, you can do anything and everything you want. And Krishna gives some time. A particular period of time is favored by mode of goodness. All good people will flourish. And next particular period of time, it will be favored by mode of passion. All passionate people like demons and all these people will flourish. And then the next particular time, it will be favored by mode of ignorance, and Rakshasas and ghosts and all those people will flourish. So Krishna mentions that in Bhagavad Gita. The time is not going to be the same for every time. Sometime Krishna will allow the dharma to flourish. And other times, the people have come thinking that, I want to fulfill my desire. I want to do whatever I want to do. And in this world, Vaikuntha, you will not allow anything bad to happen. And in material world also, you will not allow anything bad to happen. Then where to go, those people? Bad people also should have some space, no? So that is why Krishna is the father of all people. So he gives time for everybody, He gives, okay, good people, you have your time, bad people, you also have your time. And when bad time is there, bad people will flourish. So like that. So that is why this place is not a place for gentlemen. So we have to go towards Vaikuntha. That is a place where all the time it will be good. All the ideals that we are thinking about, so that will happen there, not here. Krishna is telling that after giving all the knowledge, what he is telling, this place is a very useless place, get out of this place. Devotee asks how to become very happy, nice, everything nicely arranged in this place. Krishna says, forget it. Get out of this place. So that is the thing. We cannot make this place beautiful or nice and things like that forever. For some time we can, but not forever.
Telugu is there. Right now we are seeing something. Tomorrow we will not see. It doesn't understand.
ठीक है.
So when it comes to bhakti, there has been lot many comments and criticism from the society, letters, friends. So how to not get influenced by them and still maintain good relationship?
See, one thing is that if we understand what is bhakti all about, and if we become knowledgeable, so if we see why people actually get converted to a different religion. So, because they don't know what is present in this particular religion. So they don't know the value and intricacies and depths of this religion. So not being shaken, one of the things is that we properly understand what bhakti actually offers. So depth of the bhakti, we really become a spiritual seeker, not just learn a little bit and then show ourselves as a devotee. So we really become a devotee, really become a spiritual seeker. So when we explore the depths of the bhakti, so then we'll become very confident about bhakti. This bhakti is very, very solid. This is not some joke. Like that. And then not offending them. So one important thing in bhakti is that three very important things are there. So we had discussed in other Bhagavatam classes also. So one is the prime aspect is we should become attached to the Lord. So that is the prime aspect. And then the other two aspects are like everything that exists is part and parcel of Krishna, and we should try to deal with them appropriately. And then if we deal with them appropriately, that is called the right etiquette. And if we deal with them inappropriately, that is called the offenses. So if we offend Krishna, or if we perform offenses, so then what happens? Krishna will not reveal himself and we will not become attached to Krishna. That becomes a problem. So now, if I have to do the right etiquette, so then, in terms of the family members, what is the right etiquette for me to follow? So the right etiquette is shown, like in the scriptures, like for example, Prahlad Maharaj. So it's an extreme example. I'm not saying like our relatives are like Hiranyakashipu, but it's an extreme example. So, but then now we can see that even such an extreme case, Prahlad did not like any time disrespect his father. Always he respected his father. Always he offered obeisances to his father. So he did not say like, no, I know Krishna, I have advanced in bhakti, this guy is a demon, no, why should I offer respect to him? So this is the etiquette which actually attracts Krishna. So I have to know like what is my etiquette towards the devotees, what is the etiquette towards the non-devotees, what is the etiquette towards the family members, what is the etiquette towards the inert objects of this world. So just because some inert object is there, I can exploit them. Trees are there, rivers are there, environment is there. Can I exploit them? No. So I have to understand this is also part and parcel of Krishna. This is also energy of Krishna. I should use them as much as it is necessary. So in the Ishopanishad it is mentioned that Ishavashamidam sarvam yatkincham jagatyam jagat tena taktena punjito ma gudakasya suddhanam. So now see the whole point is about getting attached to Krishna. So I use a little more resources or little less resources. How is it going to matter? No, it matters. So Krishna has given everybody allotted resources, how much they can use. And if I use that much, then I will attract Krishna. If I exploit beyond whatever I need, so then it's going to be an obstacle in the path of bhakti. I may be able to do chanting, but I will not get attraction to Krishna. Right? So we become very cautious. So that is why when we practice devotional service nicely, and then one important thing which I always mention is that somehow or other if we can get focus on the chanting, if we can hear the names of the Lord clearly, so we will develop some level of satisfaction and some level of relishment in bhakti. And when we lose that, we know something somewhere I am doing wrong. Like we need to have some checkpoint. Somewhere we can actually check whether I am going wrong somewhere or not. So if we can actually pray to the Lord and somehow or other develop this attachment to any one of the bhakti process like chanting or studying of Bhagavatam or like describing the glories of Krishna or like offering some flowers and tulsi to Krishna. So some activity we should develop very deep attachment in them, and then when we do something wrong we will not get the same relishment in that process of bhakti. So that is a very good way of checking. Are we going in a right direction or not? So if we unnecessarily disrespect our relatives, so then we will not be able to advance in bhakti. So that a person who is seriously a spiritual seeker, he is relishing bhakti, he will not do that. Because if he does that, he will lose his treasure. He will lose that which is cherishing. So that will be gone. So that is why, that in that way we can be protective.
And Prabhuji spoke about attachment to one of the activities like chanting or reading. So I personally feel more attached to reading scriptures. But we also have
Yeah, whatever the Acharya has given, see, it is not based on our own like endeavor we are going to advance. So we are going to advance based on the mercy of the Guru Parampara. So Acharya has told something, so we will follow that. You know? So whatever is told, you know, we will definitely follow that. And one interesting thing is, once we develop a little bit of advancement and a little bit of taste in one particular limb of bhakti, we will also develop taste in other limbs. You know? So if we really do the study of scriptures without any ulterior motive and only for the pleasure of Krishna, only as a service to Krishna, so then we will also awaken relishment and chanting. You know, both the things will come. Because it's about Krishna, so when Krishna is there, like we become attracted to it. You know?
And regarding Shailya, I've taken a few notes in previous class. He is the brother of Madri, another wife of
Madhuri, yeah, Madhuri, yeah.
mother of Nakul and Sahal.
Nakul and Sahal, yeah. So in that way, it's related to Pandavas. Okay. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.